everybody. I am back. And yes, I am a few minutes late. Can you believe it? The first time I'm back after 2 or 3 months. And guess what? Technical issues. I tell you, it's the energies. I just have too much energy. That's the only way I can explain it. That when I try to log on, things don't necessarily work out the way that I had hoped. But on the other hand, we're always co creating. So that clearly means that somewhere I manifested being late today. And if that is the case, then yes, so be it. So be it because I believe that we are co creating every single time that we do something. And therefore, here we are. We are live. Welcome back to the Dr. Natalie Show. I'm excited to be here. And today, I don't have a guest. I don't have a guest because today I'm just going to be talking from me to you. Reflection, planning, all of the good stuff. And hello to everybody who's here. Really excited to see you because I know for some of us, this time is not good. I know some of you, yes, it is very early, very, very early. And for some of you, it is not so early, it's late. So, see, we're trying to span all the globe. We're trying to be everywhere. We're trying to tell you exactly where we are. Hi, Al. We're trying to reach you globally wherever we are. And you'll have already, of course, since the beginning of this new year, seen some of the lineup of our shows. I mean, Rex Sykes is back. We have the Ignite show with Michelle, and Michelle, no pun intended. And today, yes, Al, absolutely. I was going to get there. Today is a very, very important day. Today, in some parts of the world, specifically in China and in all of the Chinese hubs across the globe, there is a big celebration. That celebration, of course, is, I already said it, it is Chinese New Year. So, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope you are going to have a magnificent, magnificent New Year. And yes, let's talk about tradition. Let's talk about why does all of this matter. Let's also figure out what does it mean. We're often so focused on the westernized way of doing things. And I do believe that that is important. And yet, in tradition, we have a number of things that happen from year to year, from tradition to tradition, from culture to culture. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the importance of culture. Hey, everybody, let's talk a little bit about why do the different celebrations matter? You know that I am an intuitive transformational mentor, and I'm so focused on bringing you fascinating guests and their stories, mention important topics of the day. And today, to me, the idea that we have the New Year celebration traditionally from, of course, the Chinese, who have a long, long history. I mean, have you looked at Chinese history? It's a long history. It's fascinating with the things that they have done, the things that they're doing. It's really, really cool. I invite you all to take a look at it. Now, on the other hand, traditions are important because they change. Some change a lot, some change a little, and some vanish. I'm thinking about some of the Native American traditions that used to be very, very important, and then they try to keep them secret because they were taken advantage of. And slowly but surely, they died out. And that goes for lots of indigenous tribes. Think about what we may be missing because of that. Can you imagine? What are we missing because of that? What else could we have learned? What else could we be in the know of if we hadn't lost some of that? And so, in many ways, today, and I hadn't planned it that way until I looked at the calendar. Today is very special, especially because I'm back. Yay. It's special because I don't have a guest. It's special because we get to talk, and I appreciate the comments as always. It's so kind of you to comment and to ask questions. Really, really appreciate that. Another aspect why I love today and the fact that it is the Chinese New Year is because, I've got that spiritual side, energy healing, playing with energies, working with energies. And in that, sometimes zodiacs or energies associated with the zodiacs can be really important. I'm not saying that you need to follow your daily horoscope and not leave the house, or if you see a black cat to freak out. I've got two. They're actually good luck. However, if you think about it, there are lots of opportunities for us when we dive a little bit into the various different cultures. And I think that is important. I keep saying that today. I don't mean to repeat myself, but I really do think it's very, very important. So let's think about Chinese New Year has, of course, been celebrated for centuries. And I was talking earlier to a friend of mine, and she mentioned, I asked her, do you think that ever there will be a time when there's no more Chinese New Year celebration? Because I'm a historian by trade, I know we've lost a lot of things in the time since they have been started, to put it that way. And so she said no. She said no. I don't see that ever happening. Hi, Shmiko. Thank you for being here. I don't see Chinese New Year ever not being celebrated. That was her interpretation. And she's actually flying back to Singapore tomorrow to celebrate Chinese New Year with her family. You see, it is my understanding, and I'm not an expert, but it is my understanding that the Chinese New Year celebration lasts 15 days. And that in that time frame, the focus really is on being with family, on celebrating together. And there are apparently rituals, little rituals like you're supposed to offer a mandarin to someone else. And then there are these nice little envelopes with money, not a lot of money, but little coins that I think especially older people give to younger people, but also friends can exchange. And it really is meant to signify the fact that you're wishing somebody else luck. Good morning, Sir Ori. Nice to see you. So, Chinese New Year has a long tradition. It has a lot of sub traditions in there, and people fly back to celebrate it. I have a friend who has a Chinese girl, and I was privileged to be able to experience some of the celebrations, whether it was the New Year's celebration, whether it was the Sun Festival. She really made sure that every tradition was celebrated as much as possible. And to me, that shows us that this global world is coming together along similar, thank you, Smiko, along similar alignments. Okay. Red packet with money in it. Yes. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Al. I got to bring that up because I did not know that red packet with money in it, they called it. For merit giving those. Oh, okay. I learned different, and I am not Chinese. I learned that the older people give it to the younger. Fascinating. I don't know. Maybe there are also variations within the Chinese culture. I'm not sure. Now, let's look for a second at these celebrations. The celebrations of family, of love, of coming together. and celebrating togetherness for 15 days. I am not sure, and I have not been able to find it anywhere. I'm not sure why it is 15 days. I asked my friend that earlier. I asked my other friend a couple of times, why 15 years? Days, sorry, 15 days. Because I know that numbers are important. For my spiritual alignment, obviously the number 13 is very, very important. Not a bad number, no. The Egyptians had the 13 as a very, very important number, positively important. So I'm wondering what is up with that number 15? I can't get over it. If any of you have that answer, please share. I'd really love to know because I don't. Okay, now, people coming together to celebrate family, to have dinner together, to have lunch together from across the globe. I've known many, many Chinese friends of mine who would travel back to their respective homes for Chinese New Year's. Or, you know, some of their family would come. As we all know, in the US, there are lots of Chinatowns. There are some in other parts of the world. And I don't even think that it needs to be a big parade, which right now, given some of the stuff that's going on around the world, might not be a good idea to begin with. However, what matters is that we're coming together. So I'm thinking about all the other celebrations that we have across the globe, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it is, of course, Christmas or all the Christian traditions, whether it is some Buddhist traditions, lots of beautiful celebrations in India. And there's this common thread of families coming back together. How smart were those people who originated this? How smart that they knew we do need time to come together. And of course, it's also fascinating that this happens. Here I go with the energy stuff, that this happens while Mercury is still in retrograde and Venus has just gone direct. You can look all of that up more. Venus is direct. Venus, love. Chinese New Year, we're coming together for love. You're here showing me love by being here supporting the show early in the morning for some of you, late for others. I'm so grateful. That is showing love. Venus. The fact that I had trouble getting into the system. Mercury retrograde. Of course, it makes perfect sense to me in my world. And of course, we are co-creating. Remember what I told you like last year? I can now say that. Last year I had gotten that download, that intuition about the candle, how everything works. And then I was taking a walk last Saturday and just looking at nature, because nature is the most inspiring, right? You see how nature takes time for itself, then reaches out. And so it is fascinating for me to connect all of the dots. I can't put it anyway. It's connecting the dots. Okay. Everything in my world somehow in one way or another is connected. And for example, if you see a black cat running across here, that would be just another sign for me that this is a high powered, very, very important time of year. Okay. And don't forget, Mercury retrograde is going to come to an end very soon. And at the same time that it is coming to an end, we also can't forget that the energies will linger. So we've got all these energies right now. And a big shout out to Shmiko Cole, Michelle Wilson, of course, Adora Evans. They created something before Mercury retrograde started. Okay. And you can now be obviously part of that. It's about confidence, especially for women. Sorry, guys. So, energies are high. And yes, in my time on this planet, I have let's say, successfully and at times not so successfully, probably, been able to crash systems. And what I mean by that is really very, very simple. Um, I once went into a recording studio to simply record, literally just record a couple of meditations, and you figure not much can go wrong. Well, guess what? A lot can go wrong, such as after 5 minutes, after I had begun to record this meditation, the whole studio shut down. Nothing worked anymore. So it's kind of interesting if we look at life that way. The power we have when we use it, when we use our own energy, our own power, or you may remember the candle, if we use our light in the best and highest approach for all, a lot can happen. I love playing with the energies. So let's talk about the year of the tiger. The year of the tiger. As you probably know, there are a number of zodiac signs in Chinese tradition, in Chinese culture, in Chinese astrology, astronomy, whatever term works for you. I admit I'm not too much into horoscopes because, in my experience, some people have hijacked, I'm just going to be blunt, some people have hijacked birth dates and horoscopes and have created a whole shalalala around it, which is not accurate. At the same time that I'm saying that, there are clearly some connections and resemblances. So, depending on your Western sign, there may absolutely be some character traits that you have that you can see corresponding to a specific sign. It gets a bit more complicated, to be honest, when we're on the cusp of anything. Yes, Al, absolutely, the water tiger. Okay? So, looking at it that way, and then the Chinese horoscope to me has always been more detailed and therefore probably a bit more accurate in some ways. They break it down a bit more. And then, yes, Teresa Campos, for example, a former client of mine, a wonderful, wonderful person, when she does your sign analysis, you'll be blown away. Okay? So, just some of those things, it doesn't mean everything fits 100% because, as I always say, we're all individuals. There is no one size fits all. And you need to figure out what works for you. You need to see what fits, what doesn't fit. I'm, for example, on the cusp of two things. I can see characters from both sides. While in the Chinese, I'm pretty smack damn in the middle. And that works too. And I'm just right now using those two. There are lots and lots more of things to consider, such as where was the sun when I was born? Where was the moon? All of those things can matter too, if you want to dive into that. I am not the expert for that. I am the expert for energy and energy transmission and how we can work with energies, which is why sometimes I break electronic stuff without wanting to, and why I pay attention, for example, to Mercury and Venus. Now, the year of the tiger. Think about the tiger. I'm not going to bring up my little black cat, but think of the tiger. The tiger is big. He's strong. He's often considered one of the strongest animals. And of course, he's also fast. He has a strong will. And he sometimes likes to explore things. And even though he likes to explore, he or she, the tigress, likes to explore things at the same time, the tiger will not necessarily take a risk without thought. Okay? So while there's a little more an idea of chaos, probably the way that I would phrase it, and again, I'm not the expert, I'm telling you how I energetically feel it and have done a little bit of research, okay, what you can expect with the year of the tiger is a little bit of chaos, a little bit of push, which is sometimes very good if we get pushed, okay? And you're still being asked to be courageous. You're being asked to be active, to go forward into an adventure. It is not asking you to do so without any research. It's not asking you to do that during Mercury retrograde if you've never done it before. Okay? However, a cat, curiosity killed the cat, does not quite apply to the tiger. There's ambition, there's strength, there's strong will, there's a sense for adventure, there's one of the most important things to me, generosity and commitment. When I commit to something, I'll carry it through, unless it completely implodes. And also, the tiger, it is my understanding, is usually looking to serve others. So now, take a breath with me. I've just shared a whole bunch of information. I've done the research on that, so if it's incorrect, I apologize, but I think I'm pretty good on. I do know that it's a year of the tiger. I do know it's a year of the water tiger, which means even more. And I do seriously understand the power of the changing years. Last year was the year of the ox, der Stier. That's how we would say in German, der Stier. Okay, diligent, more in a waiting position. We're switching that now. And that is perfect. That energy, that idea of the Chinese New Year, the idea of the tiger, the idea of the water tiger is perfect, because I want to talk about you co-creating 2022 and beyond. It is your time to blossom. It is your time to, in my words, take that step to freedom, to your freedom. It's time to embrace yourself. Return to self-confidence, self-love. And one other aspect that I've recently been really, really drawn to talk about, which is self-trust. So think about this amazing combination. Year of the tiger, year of the water tiger. Think about the strength of a tiger. Don't forget the weaknesses. There are some. Okay? I believe they sometimes can lack communication skills. Sometimes are a little rebellious. Of course, they want adventure. Okay? And yet they do their diligence, and they are always well-intentioned. The water, one, of course, of the most important elements. Think about the force of the water. Even if I wasn't doing any research on this, think about the force of the water. I don't believe we need to be afraid of the water. We need to respect water. Think about that movie, Airbender. Kind of cool. You're with me on that. Kind of cool. So the water tiger. This is important when you're thinking about adventure and co-creation. Water often means, in this instance with the water tiger, relationships. Commitment, the tiger. Relationships, water. How do we work together? How do we work to manifest our dreams? Don't get me wrong, cats like to be loners. And yet, when they find their mate or their tribe, they stick to it and they fight for them. They stand up for them. Their pack, their tribe, whatever you want to call it. So I want you, while we're going to just have a very, very teeny tiny break here, I want you to also think about all the qualities of the tiger that I mentioned, the aspects of the year of the tiger, the fact that Venus right now is direct, I'm laying it all out, and figure out what does that mean for me? Because the title of today's show was Co-Create. What do you need to do next? So think about that as I'll give you just a taste of the one and only Los Angeles Tribune.
Hello and welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune. Since 1886, our name has been a part of the world of journalism. We have earned a reputation for being a publication that practices integrity, authenticity, and responsibility. For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
All right. So, have you given it some thought? Co-creating, manifesting your dreams, going out on an adventure. Now, it is your time to pick what and how you want to create things, your life, the life that you desire and deserve in 2022. All of the energies are there. All of the characteristic guidelines are there. What are you going to do with the power and the knowledge that you have right now? And yes, this is just one little snippet of the work I do. But it's important because I've just given you a lot of evidence for what signs we get, how we can look at what is happening in the world, use it as a sign, reflect on it, and see what fits for us to implement. You know that life is happening for you. So whatever happened yesterday, today, last year, okay, those were lessons to be learned, things to be experienced. Awesome. What's next? A tiger is diligent as well as adventurous and committed and willing to take a risk, a calculated risk. What are your relationships right now? Who do you have that you want to collaborate with? Who do you want to collaborate with, or who do you need? Who do you need to work with, to create, to co-create the life that you truly, truly desire? Make a list of it and then go out. Be that daredevilish tiger and just go out and approach somebody. And when the energies align, you'll find a wonderful collaborator. And yes, sometimes, especially during Mercury retrogrades, you may have to go back and forth a little bit in the communication, not just with the other person, but also with yourself. And then you use all of that information and you simply start making the path, creating the path, and then walking the path. That's why I always say it takes one step to freedom, just one step. This is the year where when you plan it right, when you find the good, correct, right, fitting interpersonal relationships in personal and business life, you can make a lot of progress in personal and in professional lives. We're all different here. Not every single one of us is in business. You don't have to be. Think about your personal life. Think about your professional career. Where do you want to take it? And in the year of the tiger, don't be iffy, professional term, don't be iffy about it. No. Say what you want. Be courageous to state your claim. Now, when you announce your claim, some people will tell you that you have to do it out in the open, preferably on Facebook or LinkedIn or something. Yeah, I don't necessarily believe that. But that's because I believe there's too much interesting stuff on social media, which is why I'm here with the LA Tribune and not with others. This is the real stuff. So think about it. What do you want? And who do you want to share it with? You do need to share it with some people. You do need to share it with the people who will support you. So be mindful of who you are surrounding yourself with. Absolutely mindful. Pick the ones that will ask a supportive question. Pick the ones that will encourage you. Don't pick the ones that you know are going to say, well, yeah, but. That's the year of the ox. That's all. You've done your due diligence already. We don't have to worry about that part. You have made your plan. You know what you want. You feel it in your gut. You feel it everywhere. This is the year to go for it. And in order to go for it safely, without too much turbulence, without too much courage, you need a support network. Who do you want in your network that supports you? Fair question. Now that means you may have to look at your current network. You may have to look how you feel around certain people. And you may have to thin out some of your current circle. And in that, you may also want to add a couple of people. Add the ones that will support you. Add the ones who will support you and be honest with you. The ones that you know are as committed as you are. The ones that you know, if you make some kind of detour, take a turn that is not so great, they will call you on it and pull you right back up. For that, you do need not just a support network. You need one other thing. And that one other thing that you need is called confidence. Confidence. Not confidence, not confidence, but confidence, because I know who I am. I know myself. You keep hearing me talking about this. We have to know ourselves. And we have to love ourselves. Yes, we have to. I feel like I'm preaching right now, but anyhow, it is crucial for us to understand that if we don't know ourselves, if we don't love ourselves, what are we going to accomplish? It's a serious question. How can you attract love if you don't have it for yourself? How can you attract people who will support you and your strength if you don't know your own strength, if you don't know your own weaknesses? I'll have them. They're part of that package deal, which is awesome. This is awesome. You're awesome. I'm not just saying that. I actually believe that every single person is awesome, amazing, and needed. You've heard me say this before. So how are you going to set yourself up in 2022 to have the life, to co-create the life that you desire and deserve? Step one, free your mind of all the social conditioning, of all the stuff that somebody else told you, you need, you should, etc. And don't get me wrong, they will keep saying it because they love you. They will keep coming at you saying, but how about this? Well, couldn't you, shouldn't you, have you? That's constant splatter in the back. So you need to constantly clear your mind, detox your mind, detox your mind, detox your mind. There's a reason why I meditate every single day, in the morning, in the evening, and as many times in between as I can. Especially, of course, the Ho'oponopono, and I know Shmiko knows about that. Amazing Dame Doria knows about that so well. Little things that you can use every day to keep your mind clear, as well as help reflect. So we do need to reflect and be honest with ourselves. And that's where we need to love ourselves enough to say, whoa, that was really stupid. But mark my words, I'm saying that was stupid because we don't call ourselves stupid. We're manifestors. If I call myself stupid, what do you think is going to happen? Not happening. So we need to free that mind of all that stuff. And we need to have the tools to do that on a continuous basis. We can learn the tools, I can teach them, and you can apply them every day. It's wonderful. And then you need people who also remind you of it. We are living in this reality. We're co-creating our reality. And yet we're also living here where there are certain rules that we need to abide by. We're not just living in a mountain somewhere where we don't have rules and guidelines. We're actually living right here. So there will be people talking. There will be things that you just need to take care of. It's okay. It's your choice. If you don't like it where you are right now, go someplace else. Just did that. So you have a choice. And right now, at the cusp of the new year, the Chinese New Year, the year of the water tiger, you can take the reins and say where this one's going to go. It's going to go step by step. It's not going to happen overnight. Step by step. Every single day, another step. Sometimes you'll make a big step. Sometimes you'll take a small step. And I did tell you that I'll add something else to it. Everybody has heard me talk about self-knowledge and self-love. And yes, those are crucial. But there's one other aspect that has been creeping to the foreground more and more and more. And finally, when I was talking with a client, I think it was a week ago, it was like, I believe in signs. I was like, yes, of course. I keep sort of talking about it. What is that? That is self-trust. You can know yourself. You can love yourself. If you don't trust yourself, and I kept saying that, but now I'm phrasing it directly. If you don't trust yourself, you cannot choose what I'm just inviting you to choose. It won't work. It can't work. Because you don't trust that you can handle things. I've always said, you can handle things. If you have the self-confidence, if you have the self-knowledge, the next step is you need to know you can handle whatever life throws at you because life is doing it for you and with you. It's self-trust. Do you trust yourself? Not just up here, because that's our default. It's like, oh yeah, I trust myself because, and then you analytically count up everything. That's fantastic. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about here and here, up, gut and here. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust your instinct? If you know and love yourself, you can. If you don't, you can't. And if you don't trust yourself, trick question here, who's going to trust you if you don't trust yourself? Who do you think is going to trust you? Because you will then not be like the tiger. You will waver. You will go back from the path that you are currently on, go back and hide a little bit and say, well, but maybe, or maybe this, or maybe that. All of those things can happen. Well, that's not what we want. Co-creation means you take the reins and you know where you want to go, and you are going to go there. That's what it's all about. It's called co-creation. And we are co-creating every day. The fact that you are here right now, the fact that the show started a little late, I co-created that. I'm fully aware of that. And I know there's a reason for it. Do I know right now what the reason is? No, I don't. Will I figure it out? Oh, you betcha. I will most definitely figure that one out because it matters. It matters to me. It matters that I know why things happen. And that's just who I am. The question is, do you know why things happen? Are you aware why things happen for you the way that they do? What are you learning from them? So combine the things that you know, the diligence, the research, the ideas of I am having a goal. Combine that with I'm going to go for it. Do the research and then go for it. That's what the tiger does. Have you ever watched a cat? I mean, I know there are those little YouTube videos where they wiggle their butts. It's true. When they hunt for something, they do. Have you noticed what they do? They listen, they look, and then they study. I love cats. Have you noticed? I love cats. They study. They study this stuff before they go after it. They know exactly what the movements are. And then, bam, they jump. And they don't doubt that they can make that jump. If they doubt, they're not going to jump. That means they have analyzed the situation. So that's like between the ox and the water tiger, okay? Now we're the water tiger. Now we're just going to jump because we've done the research already. We've had a year and a half time to sit back and reflect and plan. So now it's time to co-create even more towards what we deserve and desire. Deserve and desire. Two catchwords that a lot of people I know have issues with. I don't think I can use the word deserve. Why not? I don't think I'm worthy. Why not? These are questions I ask because when I hear those and other comments, I know we're talking about limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs will keep you stuck. How does that fit with what I've been saying? Beliefs, traditions, the number 13, the number 15, the stuff that's in our head. Why do we believe those things? Is it just tradition? Is it because somebody we trusted told us? Does it work for us? We're talking about beliefs in things, traditions, celebrations, and ourselves. And all of those can have a myriad of interpretations. Funny enough, social conditioning usually tells us that I am not worthy, but you are. So I can serve you, but I can't serve myself. Well, again, year of the tiger. Always focus on serving others. But that doesn't mean that the tiger and the tigress are not going to take care of themselves and their family and their tribe. So what are you going to co-create this year? How are you going to use the energies? You see, I'm actually having a free mastermind tomorrow. Oh, funny. Tomorrow. That's called Free Your Mind. You can join me if you want. It's free. You can join me if you want. It tells you the three secrets of freeing your mind and gives you some of the action steps to continuously free your mind. Because trust me, I've been there. I can be all clear and then somebody starts talking. I'm still clear. And yet, I need to make sure that this talk, which sometimes can be not so encouraging, doesn't get into my sphere. I do that with a number of things. I have my spiritual and energetic ways. And yet, I need to make sure it doesn't penetrate. So, what are you going to co create? How are you going to set yourself up? How are you going to free your mind? Now, watch this word to, not from. How are you going to free your mind to create the life you desire and deserve? And how are you going to be able to allow yourself to deserve? So we're going to have to clear that limiting belief at some point, right? Which is why I'm pointing out the free masterclass that I'm having tomorrow. It's all good. There are a number of wonderful experts. I'm just sharing the way I do things. And the best way to exemplify and show you how it all works was by pointing out the amazing traditional celebration of Chinese New Year's and how those zodiac signs align with energies, with numbers, with belief systems. I also, of course, mentioned the tigress, right? Okay, and I pointed her out a number of times. You know, Shamika's in the house. I know that Ava and some other amazing ladies are also going to be watching this. Some of them are always commenting, and I so appreciate that. But I do want to point out also an event that I was just invited, and I'm so grateful for it. And that is an event that I'm going to put in here in the chat as well. And that is Confident Women Entrepreneurs. Very, very excited to be part of it. And it does address what we were just talking about. Again, right now I'm speaking mostly to the women, okay? But that's because very often we as women have had more training on lacking self-confidence. That's why that focus is there. If you're a man, gentleman, I'm sure you're invited to. I mean, in all the work that I do, even though it tends to be focused on women, I work with men. Trust me, I work with men. Because there are still issues about self-knowledge, self-love, and self-trust. And most of us, because we all are exposed to a similar training, depending on the country that we live in. We all know that in some countries of the world, women are not as well regarded as men. That doesn't mean they're bad or anything. It's just different values, different belief systems have been put in place. And in some countries, it's the other way around. Going back to ancient traditions. I mean, Egypt, women, kind of powerful. That's my lineage, right? Kind of powerful here. Okay. In China, we had very, very powerful women leaders. And also remember, a leader does not always have to be in the spotlight. The tiger is not always in the spotlight. The tiger blends in and then jumps. Just a thought. So what are you ready to jump at this year? I want to point out one other thing, because I can today, because I'm making my claim as well today. Not just am I inviting you to my free masterclass, I'm also going to actually invite you, ladies, okay, to my Women at a Crossroads group. Very, very supportive group. And there's training in the group as well. Should you like to have support, ongoing training on some of this, join me. It's free. It's on Facebook. You can check it out. You can stay. You can comment. You can leave. You can learn. Your choice. But all the good stuff happens in there. And I do think it's important because remember, one of the things I said that matters in the year of the tiger is for you to know, who do you surround yourself with? Who do you want around you? Who are you going to have support you? You need to find that group. You need to find those people. And then you need to stick with it because they'll be honest. If you talk to some of my clients, you'll hear, I'm honest, right? It's like, oh, you're really pointing it out. Yes. Otherwise, I can't serve you. So I'm like that cat, right? When I see you, I know so much about you. And then when we work together, I'm going to dive right towards it because I've studied it. And that's what we need in order to co-create, in order to understand how important and how valuable you all are. Each of you. I don't care what kind of job you have, what kind of profession you have. That's all superficial. What matters is what is in here. You're all here for a reason. You're here for a reason right now on this show, early in the morning for some of you, midday for others, late in the evening for others. You're here for a reason. There are no accidents. There are co-incidents. You are co-creating something right now. We're all co-creating something right now. And I want you to continue that. I want you to be able to continue that. I so want you to be able to wake up every morning with a smile on your face, sometimes it's smaller than others, knowing who you are, enjoying who you are, and then being able to go out in the day knowing that you are fulfilling your purpose, that you are on a mission to do what you're here to do, whatever that may be. So welcome to the new year. The Western civilization new year is already a month old. And yes, some of you had resolutions that you have not been keeping because they were socially conditioned. Welcome to the new year, in which we just are looking at the end of Mercury retrograde. Whew. For some of you, that's tough. I love it because it gives me time to reflect and finish. Welcome to the new year, where we now have the Chinese New Year and we have Venus going direct. Love, love, love it. Go out there in 2022. Find your tribe, stake your claim, and then, with due diligence, go for it. All right, good people. Thank you so much for being here. I want to just pour into you, and I know we all have limited time. You know where to find me. I'm here on Facebook, easy to find. I'm on all social media. I just gave you 2 links where you can directly connect with me. Do that. I mean it. I'm here, just as real as you are, and together we can co-create a whole lot in this year. And of course, don't forget about Confident Women, about my free masterclass tomorrow, and don't forget, please don't forget to follow the Los Angeles Tribune, because it's not just my show, it's not just Rex's show, it's not just the Ignite show. There are a lot of shows, a lot of content, a lot of free information for you that you can choose from and that you can then share with the rest of the world. So thank you, everyone. I wish you a wonderful Chinese New Year. And next week, I'll be back with a guest. Bye.